I don't understand why you're removing me from the mission roster, General, Major Diana Phoenix Vega said, her voice calm but laced with restrained tension. She stood at attention before General Marcus Harrington on the tarmac of the Ramstein Air Base. The early morning sun painted long shadows across the runway where Eurofighter jets gleamed under the bright light, lined up like predators ready to strike. Around them, ground crews worked with mechanical precision, their movements swift and deliberate, yet the air was heavy with unease. Everyone knew this mission was unlike any other, more dangerous, more critical. It felt as if the entire base held its breath. "This is my decision, Major," Harrington replied, his voice cold like sharpened steel. "You are not sufficiently prepared for this particular operation." His face was unreadable, his eyes devoid of any hint of compromise. But Phoenix knew that look. She had endured it for 5 long years. Ever since Kabul, ever since his son. Her jaw tightened, but her posture remained impeccable. "With all due respect, General, I have been preparing for this mission for 3 weeks. My simulation scores—" "This has nothing to do with your technical abilities, Major," he interrupted sharply, extending his hand. "Your mission tablet, please." Phoenix felt her stomach knot. She knew exactly what this was about. It wasn't about readiness or skill. This was personal. Hatred had been simmering between them ever since that day in Kabul, the day when Lieutenant Connor Harrington, the general's son, had died in her arms. She could argue. She could appeal to the squadron commander, even point out that removing the most experienced pilot on the eve of a high-risk operation violated every protocol in the book. But that would only make things worse. Without a word, she handed over the tablet containing all the mission briefings and target data. "Yes, sir," she said firmly. From a distance, Captain Alice, her wingman, watched the exchange. His fists clenched in frustration. "This is insane," he muttered under his breath. "This is her mission. She designed half the ingress vectors herself." Phoenix turned on her heel, her steps deliberate and controlled as she walked toward the operations building. Her spine was straight, her expression neutral. She would give no one the satisfaction of seeing her react. Not now, not ever. Inside the women's locker room, Phoenix methodically removed her flight gear. Each movement was precise, almost ritualistic. She folded her flight suit neatly, even though it would go straight to the laundry. Her name tags and squadron patches were placed carefully into her personal kit, each piece treated with quiet respect. When she opened her locker, her gaze fell on a photograph taped inside, one she rarely allowed herself to look at. 5 figures stood in desert camouflage, the harsh Afghan sun behind them. 3 faces had been blacked out with a marker, classified operatives. The 4th face was Connor Harrington, smiling with easy confidence. The 5th was Phoenix herself, wearing the Silver Eagle insignia of a colonel, a rank she no longer held. Politics really is hell, isn't it? The voice made her turn sharply. Colonel Jeffrey Weaver, the base commander, stood in the doorway. The older officer looked uncomfortable, as if the weight of the situation sat heavy on his conscience. "Colonel," Phoenix said with a respectful nod. Weaver stepped inside, ensuring they were alone. "Harrington's had it out for you since Kabul. We both know this isn't about readiness." "It doesn't matter why, Colonel," Phoenix replied, closing her duffel bag. "He's the commanding officer. His word is final." "We're about to lose our best pilot on a critical mission because of his personal vendetta," Weaver said, shaking his head. "I could make a call to Air Command." "No, Colonel, please don't." Phoenix cut him off, her voice steady, but there was an edge of steel beneath it. That would only make things worse. Weaver studied her for a long moment. "Sometimes I forget you once outranked all of us. I've never asked why you accepted the demotion and transfer." "That information is classified, Colonel," Phoenix replied simply. With that, she hefted her bag and left. Outside, pilots were already gathering for the briefing, their conversations dropping to hushed murmurs as she passed. She ignored the looks of uncertainty in their eyes and continued on toward the exit. By the time Phoenix stepped outside, the sun had fully risen, casting her long shadow across the tarmac. Transport trucks rumbled by, carrying the chosen pilots to the briefing room. Above, a satellite dish rotated slowly, tracking something in orbit that no one on the ground could see. Her secure phone buzzed in her pocket. A single text appeared. Stand by for direct contact. Authorization. Chess protocol. Phoenix deleted the message instantly. She had never sought recognition. In fact, she had intentionally hidden her past and accepted a reduced rank to protect the secrecy of the chess protocol. But she had also never abandoned a mission, and she wasn't about to start now.
Inside the briefing room, General Harrington dominated the space with the air of a man accustomed to absolute authority. Screens behind him displayed satellite images of rugged mountain terrain and a fortified complex nestled in a remote valley. The room was filled with pilots, intelligence officers, and support personnel. Operation Nightshade is time-sensitive and of national security importance, Harrington began. Our target is a weapons research facility suspected of developing ABC capabilities. Reconnaissance suggests they are in the final testing phase of a new delivery system. Captain Alice sat in the front row uneasy. The empty chair beside him, where Phoenix should have been, felt like a glaring absence. Captain Mercer will lead the primary strike team, Harrington continued, nodding to the pilot who had replaced Phoenix. Captain Alice will provide tactical support. As Major Carson, the lead intelligence officer, presented the technical schematics, his confidence faltered. Sir, I must point out, this encryption architecture is unlike anything we've seen in this region. It resembles advanced quantum security protocols far beyond their capabilities. Commander Walsh, from Naval Intelligence, leaned forward. These signatures match the parameters of the chess protocol. If that's the case, standard infiltration could trigger their fail-safes. Harrington's face hardened. Commander, the chess protocol is irrelevant to this mission. With respect, sir, I worked on related systems during my time at Fort Meade, Walsh persisted. If this is derived from chess, we need specialized access codes or— That's enough, Commander, Harrington snapped. This is a straightforward data extraction and strike mission. Before anyone could respond, the doors burst open. A communications officer rushed in, breathless. General Harrington, the Secretary of Defense is on Secure Line 1. She demands immediate video link to this briefing. The room fell silent. Harrington's expression faltered for the first time. The secretary herself. This was unprecedented.